What's up, guys? So I'm going to show you how to use the NFL 2K5 draft class generator. So from the GitHub link, you should have downloaded the XC, the acceptable names.txt, the config file, and the iCode file. So let's just open the tool. From the tool, you'll notice 7 options in the main menu. So there's the option to go ahead and generate the draft class. There's an option to generate a new acceptable names.txt. I'll go over that one later. It's a bit more complicated. Options 3 and 4 are options whether to enable or disable the removal of unique names when generating draft class, and I'll go over that later as well. 5 is to open the documentation, which is the GitHub page. 6 is to exit the application, and if you enter debug, it'll enter the developer debug mode. You won't need to do that unless something goes terribly wrong. So let's open up the documentation, and you'll notice this is the main guide. I'd recommend reading through this even though you're watching the tutorial. So you should have grabbed the file from the releases section, and it's on version 1.2.1. So there's a zip file there that you should download. It's this file. And in addition to the My exe tool, you'll also need some other applications. I've linked them in a single zip media file link, so I'd recommend downloading that as well, unless you already have the tools. So to use the tool, what you first need to do is save a franchise in game, and this file has to be after week 1. It can be during week 1, after, it doesn't matter, but it just has to be after week 1. So once you have that saved onto a PS2 memory card, open MyMC and then extract your .max file. So I named mine tutorial, so we're just going to click this option, and I'll just save it to my saves folder in my NFL 2K23 directory. We're going to save it as a .max. When this deselects, we'll know it is finished extracting and we're ready to go. Alright, now that that's extracted, we're going to go to the NFL 2K5 tool. We're going to open this XC. We're going to load our save, our .max save that we just extracted. So once it loads, nothing should pop up. That's fine. We're going to go to the view menu and just deselect all of these, and then select list draft class and list contents. So you'll notice when scrolling through it, there's a lot of blanked out names, corrupted names. So we're going to click File, Save Text, and then we're going to extract it to our NFL 2K5 draft class generator. I'll just name it draft.csv. Alright, and so a quick note. The tool is built to work with Nemo's latest roster. So the way that draft classes are generated in NFL 2K5 is it's generated off of the names in the franchise file, but the game isn't very good at that. So it often messes up and corrupts names, essentially. So long story short, if you're using other rosters other than Nemo's roster, you're going to need to follow this step right here. So we're going to click View, we're going to unselect List Draft Class, we're going to select List Team, so we're going to clear and then List Contents. So this is the name of every player in your draft class file. So we're going to click File, Save Text, and we're going to save it in your NFL 2K5 draft class generator folder. I'll just name it roster.txt. Whoops. Try that again. Roster.txt. Alright, and we're good to close the tool. So we're going to open our draft class generator folder, and you can see I saved it right there. And let's open up the tool. And so the tool should have the option to remove unique names when generating the draft class enabled. That should be enabled by default. So I'll leave that on, but you can always click 3 to disable that, and you'll see names with suffixes, names with hyphenated names. I just think that's too recognizable, to see player like Stingsley Jr. Like, obviously, you wouldn't see that, like, in real life. So I think it sort of kills it for me. So it's a necessary trade-off to just remove the names and suffixes completely, because I'm just not that good of a programmer to be able to weed them out based on how recognizable they are. So I'll click 4 to enable it. So when we're going to click 2, and then we're going to enter our roster.txt. Again, you do not need to do this if you're using Nemo's roster. So the new file has been generated. We need to restart the program. So from here, we're just going to click 1 and then click draft.csv. And it should generate it. It should only take a few seconds. Alright, the file's been written to new.csv. So if we look through this, you should see no names and suffixes. Everything looks fine. So we're gonna right click this file, open with, and then WordPad. Should be installed by default onto your computer. So we're gonna open back up the NFL 2K5 tool. We're gonna load our .max save again. And then we're gonna deselect these 3 and select list draft class, list contents, and then we're just gonna select all of this. Control C, and then clear. Trophy. Alright, then we're just going to click save. You might get a pop-up that says names haven't been added. Just click OK. And to make sure that the file's saved and everything looks good, you can just reload the file. And list contents. And yeah, everything looks good. No names with asterisks, no nothing. So just X out of the tool, and we can close out of WordPad. So now we have to open the NFL 2K5 game save editor. We're just gonna open our file, and if this says found possible name corruption, would you like to repair it? We're gonna click no. And we're just gonna open one player, click accept. It's gonna allow us to save it. We're just gonna click file, save. Alright, so then we can close out of that. We're going to go back to MyMC, and we're going to click MyMC-UI. We're going to load our memory card again. Get rid of this. We're going to click File, Delete. Then we're going to import our new file. And you should be good to go. It should save automatically.